there was a photo shown of him, and then he said it wasn't him because he didn't sweat at that time.
Oh my God. Oh, wait, is this just a synopsis?
Yes, it's just a synopsis, yeah. And then he says he is in the picture, but is not convinced that it's his hands.
I don't really want to talk.
I know. And then he also does not confirm that the photo is fake.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason he visited and stayed with Epstein after he was like released from the prison was just to say goodbye to him for the last time seeing him. Okay, so let's go into who Jeffrey Epstein is first.
A massive wanker. Next.
Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to listen to our true crime podcast. I'm Joe.
I'm Lucy.
I'm Dale.
And we are
Effed Up Cases. With our twisted minds, dark humour and a bit of comedy, we explore into the most compelling cases that are deemed to be the most fucked up in the history of our existence.
Discussing disturbing cases by our disturbed minds.
We're all very obsessed with Effed Up Cases, and now we're going to talk about it.
Basically, he got rich from being a scammer, didn't he?
Did he? I didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Didn't he used to run like what's that? Like a scheme, a
Ponzi scheme, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's where he got his money from.
All right.
Because I thought he was like a director or something big, but...
Wasn't he a journalist at one point?
Well, according to Wikipedia, it says he's an American finance...
Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's just a brief information.
An American financer is a scammer. That's just a nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
You can't just generalize everyone.
Well, we can.
We can when they've got...
Bankers are wankers.
So apparently he used to be a professional teacher. That's how he started his life and switched to banking and finance sector.
Okay.
So, and then later he formed his own firm. So that's how he became rich with his own firm. So, I mean, it's probably not easy to be successful, right? Like when you start your own business.
No, well,
so
it all depends.
maybe he did run a scheme or scam, you know, to get to that. So with his firm, he developed an elite social circle and procured many women, including underage girls who were sexually abused by him and some of his contacts, which from his elite social circle, Prince Andrew being one of them.
Allegedly. We have to say that
yes.
for now. Nonce.
Yes, allegedly, but it's clearly fucking true. Cool.
So he is an American financier and convicted sex offender.
He's got all the things covered. Child molestation, money. What else does a guy need?
Yeah, the first time he was caught was on 2005 when a parent complained about their 14-year-old daughter being sexually abused by him. And yeah, that was in Florida, Palm Beach. That was on 2005, by the way. The date is important.
Didn't Prince Andrew say that was about the time that he... Oh no, it was slightly after that because they saw each other at a party.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, sorry, Jane.
So Epstein pleaded guilty and he was convicted in 2008. He served almost 13 months in custody, but with extensive work release.
He didn't actually... No, but I remember watching something. He didn't actually serve time. He was basically allowed to go out and do what he wants.
Yeah, so work release means in prison systems, work release programs allow prisoner who is sufficiently trusted or can be sufficiently monitored to leave confinement to continue working at their current place of employment, returning to prison when their shift is complete.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically went there to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not a prison at all.
No.
Yeah, because you're still being given a freedom when you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know what? I don't know a huge amount about this case because, you know, there are certain things, you know how some people are like, oh, I don't like true crime because it's just too much for them. When I hear stories like this, which is basically substantial and systematic abuse of someone in power, generally white, generally male, and it's all these people either riding on the back of it, getting in on it, or they just turn a blind eye because they're profiting from it somehow.
Yeah.
And it makes me lose all faith in humanity because you just think, if people are all right with human trafficking and rape and abuse of young women, then the world's kind of fucked, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I don't think in their sort of circle they see it like that.
No, because everything else is just purchasable to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they don't see it because they don't go out and physically drag a woman off. So to them, it's just like buying a service.
It's delivered to them.
Yeah. Yes, it's just
basically like Deliveroo, but for fannies.
So he was convicted of procuring an underage girl for prostitution and of soliciting a prostitute. Only these two crimes as part of plea deal.
Mm-hmm. Why wasn't he charged with rape? How can you class a child as prostitution?
I think he tried, they tried their best to keep it to as minimum as possible for the
It's
charge.
because of the people he knew.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and also he would have had a fucking brilliant lawyer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and probably the judges were staying with him and...
Yeah, they might have been in on it. Let's not tarnish everyone. But because Prince Andrew was talking in his interview about like the elite circle and people from the UN and this, that, and the other. And when he was listening, I was like, oh, piss off. Who are you? Like, get over yourself. Yeah, it's just pathetic.
The UN soldiers have raped loads of people. And
have they?
Yeah, because I remember watching something on them.
Yeah, they probably do, and they probably have children all over the world.
Anywhere where there's people suffering, people are being abused.
And manipulated, yeah, absolutely. Why are we doing this?
So federal officials, I mean, he was only charged for 2 crimes, but federal officials had in fact identified 36 girls, some as young as 14-year-olds, and whom Epstein had sexually abused. Ugh. Epstein was arrested again on 2019 July 6 on federal charges for sex trafficking of minors in Florida and New York. That's the recent one where he got arrested. And then he died in the jail cell on August 10, 2019. So Dr. Barbara Sampson, who did the original examination, ruled the death as suicide.
It wasn't.
But yeah, his lawyers disputed it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't, because he was apparently tried to kill himself once. Did you know that?
No.
While he was in custody.
What, on the same charge or previous? Yeah.
Okay.
So he was supposed to be on suicide watch.
Yeah.
But that night, he was left alone in his cell. The CCTV was turned off.
Oh.
And they never checked him every few hours, like they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So, and the injury, someone said the way he died, he couldn't have...
There was something dodgy about the neck, wasn't there? It wasn't the bone that normally breaks during hanging.
Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, the autopsy now. Oh. So what happened was Epstein's family hired a formal medical examiner, Dr. Michael Baden, who examined more than 20,000 bodies during his career. He also worked on, this is important to say because he also worked on O.J. Simpson's case and some other high cases.
Right, okay.
So in that he claimed the murder was not suicide at all. The pictures from the autopsy show that Epstein suffered 2 fractures on the left and right of his larynx, and the 3rd fracture can be seen on the left hyoid bone. Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Hyoid. Yeah, I think it's hyoid bone. Hyoid bone, just above Adam's apple. This can break during hanging, but is more common in its strangulation victim. Yeah.
Right.
So since it's more common in its strangulation.
God bless America.
Yeah, he's claiming that he was strangled to death, right? Like
Well, of course he was murdered.
So he also...
It's actually annoying how obvious, but there's nothing can be done.
Yeah.
It's just brushed under the carpet.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think that's the thing though. If you go to prison and you've done something to children, you're a dead man.
No, but that's not. He was killed because of the people that were involved with abusing.
Oh, was it? Oh, fuck, I'm so stupid.
But do you think a random prisoner killed him?
Well, I think because it was because it involves children. Because
Oh no, he was on suicide watch in his own cell, and the person he had in his cell was took out that same night conveniently.
Oh.
All the CCTV was turned off, and it's
so in fact Trump snuck into his cell.
No, he was...
I reckon it is related to Trump.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, he was
these
those
high profile people that
well, he was friends with him, and he's in many videos oogling at girls with Epstein. So
I mean, maybe...
Luckily he's not in charge of the biggest superpower.
I know.
Alright. We're all fucked. I'm out.
But Trump's definitely a creep. I mean, it's not even...
Oh my god, you don't even have to say it.
It's proper.
Oh, he's so vile.
So he told Fox News...
I think you've got Boris. So we're all good.
Oh yeah, Boris is the
Prime Minister
now.
All hail the Prime Minister.
How is he doing?
I don't know. Let's not talk about politics. Didn't we just say we weren't going to talk about politics earlier?
I mean, I wouldn't understand it anyway.
No, neither would I.
So Dr. Michael Baden goes on to say that hanging does not cause these broken bones. Homicide does. He also pointed to the supposed total breakdown in security around Epstein's cell, saying...
Everyone went off for a fag. What happened?
Yeah, it would be extremely unlikely 2 guards would fall asleep while video cameras were not working.
Oh, yeah.
So that's very suspicious there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But the original medical examiner, Dr. Barbara, who ruled it as suicide, said firmly that she stands by her findings and that the original medical investigation was thorough and complete. There is no reason for a second medical investigation by our office. Because Jeffrey Epstein's death eliminates the possibility of pursuing criminal charges, a judge dismissed all criminal charges on August 29, 2019. So, yeah, just because he died, everything just
That's bullshit. Those poor victims.
Well, he is dead. It's kind of hard to...
Yeah, but that doesn't bring you closure at all.
Exactly.
You don't get any justice for what happened to you and what was taken from you.
Yeah, and then also everything that was connected with him, does it like just...
Yeah, because they must. I mean, if it was as large scale as it was, then all these girls will be seeing these people walking around and in the media still and think, yeah, you just got away with it.
Well, it's probably closed just to keep out all the rich and famous people involved.
Yeah,
exactly. So Epstein's close ties in the elite social circle included.
I want to be in that circle.
really.
Like
Just for a night.
Just for a night. Just one night, guys.
Just to get one taste.
Oh, fuck. Jesus.
I don't want Jesus for the record.
Yeah, so Epstein's close ties in the elite social circle included Dale
Yes.
and Donald Trump and Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill Clinton, when are you going to clean your act up, mate? Come on.
Wasn't he the one that cheated on...
Monica Lewinsky, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that, Joe?
Nope.
He got a BJ under the table.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Gosh,
He didn't deny it. No, I didn't see it.
Was that a video of him?
No, he just denied it, and then it came out. He was a filthy liar.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously then, like...
I listened to a podcast about him though. Apparently he was a bit dirty for years.
Oh, he's definitely a player.
A lot of women have made complaints against him as he sort of climbed his way up.
So see, like, Bill Clinton could have hands in that.
Well, he's had many hands.
Hands on all the orifices.
That's what got them to where they are.
Yeah, but Donald Trump, well, he was filmed partying with Epstein, but he said that the ties were cut years ago, and he was not a fan of convicted people.
Wow.
I'm not a fan of paedophiles. I'm a fan of pussy grabbers like myself. But paedophiles are such a vile individual.
Yeah, I just draw the line there, right?
Yeah.
So Bill Clinton, he traveled on Epstein's private jet known as Lolita
Oh my
Express.
God, the name Lolita. Do you remember the film?
No.
Please, sorry. But denies every visiting in his private island.
To call your island Lolita. There's a famous film.
It's a private jet, not island.
Well, your jet.
Yeah.
What's the film?
It's basically an old man that has a relationship with like a 13-year-old girl.
Are you joking?
No.
God.
And the film's really good.
I'm sorry, that can't not be connected.
No, that's
do you think that was like some underhand,
exactly.
Is it a really obscure film that not a lot of people know?
A really well, actually, the girl and the guy in it are really famous. You should check it out.
Wait, Lolita Express and
No,
there's
just
a
Lolita.
called Island. I mean,
Actually, and when when they do one of those scenes before you actually get your part in it,
Yeah.
it just looks so creepy. It's on YouTube, like the the scene they do privately.
Oh, it was a book originally.
It's like a legal nonce film. That's how it.
Wow, that's...
is she an actual 13-year-old or just...
At the time, she was that age, I think. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That, I mean, because I've never heard that name before.
Which?
Lolita.
Oh.
So it seems for you to say that that's what the film was about and him, that just seems to...
Oh, it's more disturbing, I know.
Yeah!
I watched it when I was 13 and it really creeped me out.
But now it's your favourite film because you're of an age where you can relate to the...
We'll watch that tonight.
No.
no, I'm sleeping.
The other person in the elite social club was Prince Andrew. So I think
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
True.
So investigators looking into the activities of Jeffrey Epstein discovered an address book containing 13 phone numbers for his friend, the Duke of York.
What a nice name.
No, I think he named it as Duke of York. I mean, he said Duke of York, but he didn't name Prince Andrew as in Prince Andrew.
Yeah, but we know who he's on about.
Exactly.
It's anyone
Yeah.
Duke of York.
As like York residents, is there any way we can sort of
Yeah,
shrug him off? I can't think of the right words.
Well, he's never here anyway. So.
Yeah, but still, can he just be the Duke of
yeah,
dot
just
dot
strip
dot?
off the title of him, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I didn't even know.
strip him of any association to do with our beautiful city.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's nothing to do with us residents.
Bitch.
Anyway, accusations were made by Virginia Roberts.
She's the main one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she claims that she was recruited as a sex slave for Jeffrey Epstein by
Gillian.
Gillian.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think it's Ghislaine.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Ghislaine.
She was. Might as well say that.
Classic Dale. There's semen everywhere.
So
When she was a teenager working at...
Mar-a-Lago.
Say again?
Mar-a-Lago.
Nice.
and Joanna Soberg claims she was 21 when Prince Andrew touched her breast while they were at the Epstein.
Wait, I mean...
Do not do what you're about to do, which is defend.
No, I'm on about, like, the two examples. Surely there's more accusations than...
There are more, like dozens more have alleged, but they have not come out or spoken publicly. It's just them two.
Yeah.
No, but this reminds me, remember when we discussed this once? You know, like when someone comes out and there's like a proper victim and you get all these minor ones that, oh, he touched my bum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it kind of sidetracks from the actual main proper rape.
No, I get what you mean. I mean, not to take away from Johanna, because... she was 21 and being manhandled by Prince Andrew, who is quite a gross-looking thing. But yeah, when that's paralleled next to being a sex slave, it's kind of like one extreme, and not that the other's less, but you know.
But it's like a trinklets of water. Every drops of water, together will make an ocean.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, if only those two are coming forward, that doesn't mean that.
The other dozens.
Yeah, it's just that they're not willing to fully come forward and put themselves in the spotlight, which is understandable. If all these big people are involved in it, they'd be pretty petrified.
What I'm surprised is why other people haven't come forward about Prince Andrew.
Because of what I just said.
Yeah.
No, but it's so out there now. It's the time to like...
But a lot of them might have NDAs. Is it NDAs? Non-disclosure agreements?
Yeah. And also the fact that even if they did come out, like look at what happened to Jeffrey Epstein before he even opened his mouth fully.
Well, we'd all be happily watch him die.
These women are dealing with trauma. You don't know how they're actually coping with it, if they're coping at all. And a lot of them would just rather... Do you know what? I don't want to get involved. I just want to try and live my life and forget that it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
What I mean about Jeffrey Epstein is even when he was in the prison, suicide watch, and he was still like, if he was murdered, and obviously these girls will be scared of their own lives, right? Because they're nothing to them. So if they did come out, anyway, I'm sure Virginia Roberts is also in being threatened or, but they can't do anything to her right now because, she's already in the media. And if something did happen to her, then there will be definitely a foul play.
Yeah.
So on 16th November 2019, BBC program Newsnight broadcasted an interview with Prince Andrew conducted by Emily Maitlis. He speaks for the first time about his relationship with convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein and allegations made against him over his own conduct. So that's the brief about the interview.
Yeah.
All right. In the interview, Prince Andrew has always said he met Jeffrey Epstein in 1999 through the financier's then girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, a well-connected socialite.
Socialite.
Oh, okay. The prince stressed throughout the interview that he and Epstein weren't that close.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And then invitations Epstein had received to events at Windsor Castle and Sandringham.
Can I just interject? When he because he kept throughout the interview saying, we weren't particularly good friends.
I know.
And then it was, to me, it was so obvious that he was lying.
Yeah.
Because he used all that evasive sort of language and answering with really long-winded answers. But then when it got closer to the end, they mentioned the fact that Epstein had come to what's his daughter's name? That horrendous looking one.
Oh, the Pope horrendous.
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
Or
Yeah.
Eugene.
No, it was Beatrice, and he'd gone to her 18th birthday.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, you don't just invite some random non-friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are you laughing
Exactly.
so hard about?
What?
They're horrendous.
Oh, Jesus.
I feel bad, but they're the most ugliest.
Oh, they're so. Oh, I know. I'm sure they're lovely, and I'm sure they do great charity work and all that crap that the royals do. But however, throw your face out, love.
Oh my God, can you just vomit back in the mug? Don't do it on the floor.
Oh, God. It's so cruel, but I don't know.
I mean, I've seen her. I just thought she just looks average looking, not ugly.
Average.
How low are your standards?
Average.
What?
God, they're so ugly. I get offended.
Oh dear. Okay.
I'm not even like good looking, but they're so ugly.
All
I'm
right.
offended.
Don't you think you have to be good looking yourself to judge people?
Oh.
Rude.
I'm so fit and so many teeth in my mouth.
She looks okay there.
Shut up. She looks like a horse.
Yeah, she literally does.
You were an
Have you noticed a lot of royals look like a horse?
Do you know why? Because they're all fucking inbred. That's why.
Oh, she looks like her father actually.
Or a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, she
nut.
does.
There.
You know, that's why. No, well.
But it's not the outside beauty. It's
It makes you want to give her a pole like a horse.
Yeah, I said you were an apple.
Just stick a carrot on her teeth.
Start driving off down the road.
Can you imagine those gnashes near your... Well,
No, because we don't have them, Dale. So if you're going to make a joke, make it relative.
It's relative to you.
ooh.
No penis joke.
Okay, back to not mocking his children.
All right, invitations Epstein had received to events. Every time you clear your throat when I get to that line, and then I repeated it like 3 times.
I can barely breathe. I keep like...
I think I've got Dale's office allergy. Yeah.
Okay, so where am I? Invitations Epstein. I know you're gonna do it. Don't do it.
I'll skip the line.
No, invitations Epstein had received to events at Windsor Castle at Sandringham were in financier's capacity at Miss Maxwell's +1 rather than as a friend in his own right, he said.
It's, well, even though that's bullshit, if you stay on someone's island, stay at their house and invite them to the
I
party.
know that was the thing that he kept going. Oh, you know, we were just, you know, it was just, just an associate of my friend. But then she was reeling off like, okay, so yeah, you know, you stayed on his island for 7 years. You know, you had multiple parties. You went on little romantic strolls in Central Park.
The next line. Say it, Joe. The shooting
Well,
one.
it was a shooting weekend, not a birthday
Yeah, when,
party.
No, I think
you
I
remember
said
that?
It was a shooting weekend. It wasn't a birthday party.
Yes.
No, it wasn't the way you just said it was a shooting weekend. He said it was just, what was it? And it was just an average
Yeah, it was
shoot.
just an average. It was just an average shoot.
Like we all did.
Yeah, a little fucking off to shoot pheasants on the weekend. You absolute
That's
tosser.
one-
And also stuff like that really bugs me. It's same with like the sweating thing later on because
Yeah.
she obviously brought it up to ridicule him. But it's the fact that they go, oh no, I'm sorry. That detail is entirely incorrect, madam. It wasn't a party. We're all pissing about in the grounds with guns. The semantics, it doesn't matter.
No, yeah.
You were all there doing that together.
Somehow shooting with someone is less closer than
It's
having a
classier,
party.
my dear chap.
And-
It's an honest kind of gathering.
Yeah, we shot 2 black people this week.
God, I'll have to remove that.
No, you won't.
All right.
They are racist.
Wildly racist.
They killed Princess Diana because she was having an Asian baby.
Well, we can't be entirely sure.
No, trust me.
If you were in the royal family, you'd be well dead by now, Joe.
No, would I? Or I would be the perfect one because I would be.
No, they wouldn't
following
want a
every
mixed
rules.
race. That's why they don't like.
Oh, okay. Just because I'm Asian.
Get out.
Yeah,
people.
they want pure white. That's why they don't like Meghan. I actually like her.
I do as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, really, they need to inject some new blood because then you end up with people like Princess Beatrice.
Exactly.
Okay, you know, when listening to the interview, I felt like it's my own analyzation. Like whenever he was having to concoct the lies, you know, in his head, he's stammering a lot, stuttering.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but when he's telling the truth, then he's like just no stutters. He's just like saying it because it's more comfortable for him to like bring it out, you know.
Yeah, he was just a really bad liar. And whoever said, "Oh yeah, he's ready to go on TV once firing."
That's true. Yes.
Yeah, but as bad as that is, he would have been pre-told and had his answers. So that makes it worse.
Yeah.
Still, like it's a lot easier to speak. It's a lot easier to speak from the memory because you were just like remembering it.
Recording rather than oh shit. I had 7 whiskeys before I came to this. Oh, bollocks.
Yeah. So when he said it was a shooting weekend where he defended it was not a birthday party, it might have been it because he wasn't stuttering a lot on that part.
No.
So because
but to me, it's pedantic and it screams guilt to me because it's like I'm going to fill the time in by saying, "Oh, you've got your research wrong. It was in fact just a party."
Well, you were still with him.
Who cares? You were still there with him.
Yeah. So when he stayed in the United States, he had no idea he was being investigated.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And there was no indication. He agreed with Emily that nothing struck him as suspicious.
Apart from all the little girls running around in the school uniforms. I bet nah.
Oh, what do you, I don't know whether you brought it up.
Oh no, I think I copy pasted that twice. It's not supposed to be there yet.
I don't know whether you mentioned it later on, but you know, what did you just say, Dale? Fuck, my brain. What did you just say?
Girls running around.
Oh yeah. So you know, later on in the interview, he goes, you know, I'm from a place of privilege, and in Buckingham Palace, there's just hundreds of people running about the place.
Yeah.
So when I go to places, I don't notice if all these people are running around. And you notice if there's 13-year-old half-naked girls running about the place.
Yeah.
You absolute buffoon.
Yeah, no, he actually says that in the Emily makes a point, like if there were hundreds of girls walking about in the place in Buckingham, you would have noticed. And then he says, yes, if there were like those many girls, I would have noticed. And even in Epstein's place, I would have noticed, but there wasn't that many, not when he was there anyway. Yeah. So that he didn't notice the girls, basically.
Yeah.
And in 2006 May, arrest warrant was issued for sexual assault on Jeffrey Epstein, but Prince Andrew invited him for his daughter's Beatrice's 18th birthday party less than 2 months later of him being...
Do you know what? He probably invited him, to be fair to that, because no fucker wants to go to a party.
No, you know why he invited her for her 18th? Because he knew he wouldn't be interested in her because she's a legal age now.
Yeah. And flaccid.
Yeah. He didn't come to the 16th or the 17th birthday party because he knew he was a nonce. Have some of that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So he claimed, when questioned on that, he claimed that he didn't know what was going on in the United States and he never knew it until the media picked it up. So I did a research on that. Apparently, like, there's no news about him being arrest warrant during that time where he says he didn't know. And besides, he was already invited like a long time before that happened. And even though if I couldn't find anything, I mean, they are like inside friends and stuff. They could have or would have known.
But there's actual footage of him leaving Epstein's apartment in America with young girls coming out.
That was after he was imprisoned. This one was the first time he was like convicted because of
I mean, forget the conviction part. He knew he had young girls there.
Who knew where? What? No, we've not gone to that part. We're only talking about basically Prince Andrew invited Jeffrey Epstein to his daughter's birthday 18th party even after he got...
You're saying there's evidence to suggest that Prince Andrew didn't actually know what was going on?
No, he says he didn't know because it wasn't on the media. And I tried to search and it wasn't on the media, like I said.
Okay.
But what I'm saying
we'll give you that, Andrew, but that's it, mate.
Yeah.
The rest of it's bullshit. But we'll give you that.
So it only came out a few months later. Anyway, in 2008, Epstein was convicted for procuring and soliciting a minor for prostitution. Prince Andrew responded to that later in 2006 when he found out that Epstein was under investigation. He ceased contact. He wasn't in contact with him until 2010. Mm-hmm. So he was released in July 2010, and within months he went to stay with him in New York mansion, where he when asked why, he replied, he said he had considered speaking to Epstein on the phone but decided to meet him face to face to show leadership.
Oh, fuck off.
The sole purpose was to tell him, because he was convicted, it was inappropriate for us to be seen together. And because this was serious, telephone's way was the chicken's way of doing it. I had to go see him and talk to him. After the conversation, he left the very next day. So that's what he said.
Was that when they went to Central Park?
Yes, the walk.
Because when he described that, I fell about laughing. He's like, so we went for a walk in the park.
I can't see you anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man, and it just so happened that there was a photographer there.
Yeah.
But then, didn't he accuse Epstein of setting that up or something? So.
No, when asked later about that, he said it couldn't have been. We'll go to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So the fact that he said, he had to go there to tell him that I can't see you anymore.
Yeah, we know that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
should have just said it was for work. That'd be more believable.
Yeah.
So stupid.
And in December 2010.
I'd love it if there was a policeman. No, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
Something stupid.
Just insulting everyone's intelligence.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what I got from the whole thing. It's that whole I'm royalty, I'm untouchable.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm white, I'm privileged, I'm all the things that people hate.
Yeah.
But essentially, you can't touch me, and I'm unanswerable.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And the fact that he actually thought he was ready to do the interview with.
yeah, it just shows a level of arrogance and pomposity.
Yeah.
Well, usually the BBC bend over backwards, so he probably wasn't expecting.
Yes, that's very true, actually.
Because I was surprised it got heard. Because surely someone watched it back and thought this doesn't look good.
Yeah, because I would have thought that because the royals have like a media department, don't they? And they're supposed to be media trained, clearly.
And that's why they did it with the BBC, because they have more control over what's put out.
But yeah, you would have thought they would have watched it back through. Oh wait, hang on a second. Sorry. Can we redo that?
Yeah. It's all. They probably were planning to do it that way, but the way he responded, it just was no way of doing it any better. Yeah. So they just.
Well, yeah, you can't polish a turd.
No.
Yeah, that's what I mean in so many words. Yeah. So in December 2010, Jeffrey Epstein threw a release party. Prison release. Yeah, Prince Andrew was invited as guest of honor, but he denies it was a release party.
Yeah, this pissed me off.
Yeah,
there's only 6 or 8 of us.
Yes,
hardly a party.
Yeah, that's
if it's less than double digits.
Yeah,
fuck off.
Yeah. And then he goes on to state that he went to break up the relationship when he went there, but. Like earlier when he said he left the very next day, he said he was there for several days.
I was going to say he stayed for ages and he was like, well, we were going to break up, but then, we decided to watch Netflix and chill, and then we went for coffee.
The glaring bullshit is he said he wasn't a close friend, yet he went all that way to break up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
You smashed it.
Like that was my question. Yeah, I was doing that. Like I have notes saying later as well, like the things he did, yet he stated that he's not very close with him. And also he said he was there for several days, and he said he stayed there for several days because Jeffrey Epstein was kind of hard to get hold of, and having to have a long conversation with him, that walk in the park wasn't.
Yeah.
No, he said he stayed there because it was convenient, because the royals struggled to get a hotel.
Yeah, those are the reports. Yeah. And when he said that he left the very next day, as in after the conversation, he left the very next day, but he was there for 4 days waiting for Jeffrey Epstein so he can have the conversation. But we know what he's doing, right?
Take the keys. I'll be back in 4 days to say we're breaking our friendship.
Yeah. So he says he was doing a number of. He was doing the number of things while he was there, and it was just a convenient place to stay. In hindsight, it was definitely the wrong thing to do.
Oh, really?
But at the time, I felt it was the honorable and right thing to do. I admit fully that my judgment was probably colored by the tendency to be too honorable.
Oh, wow.
So to that comment, we have someone from the Facebook page asking this question.
As an American, I found his statement as a point of honor to be odd. How did it ring across the pond? See, in America, we like to pretend that we don't have classes. How you get on with that? And of course, we don't have royalty or a peerage. So I know if, say, a Kennedy scion were quizzed about a friendship with Epstein and tried that line, we'd laugh our butts off at him. But I was wondering how it played to a culture with some of these things, where some of these things are formalized, particularly as it comes from the mouth of a prince of the realm, so to speak.
But they're not like a prince of the realm.
And we're still laughing our butts off at him as well.
It's just a random wanker living off the taxpayers.
I forgot to name her. Her name is Amy Thomason. Okay. She's the one who asked the question. All right, continue.
I think a lot of us view the royalty as a very outdated...
I like some of them now.
Yeah,
I like the principle of the gimmick. It's like Father Christmas to me.
The thing is, with royalty, is that without our history... we wouldn't have the tourism that we have.
Yeah.
And tourism is a colossal part of our economy. And without it, we wouldn't be nearly as an interesting country. We wouldn't be Great Britain. We wouldn't have done it.
What else is there to go to London
Let's just ignore that bit. Pardon?
What else is there to go to London for, rather than looking at Buckingham Palace and getting robbed on a moped?
Did that happen to you? No. I'm surprised.
Have you seen a moped crime there?
Yeah, because they keep nicking phones, don't they? Because they hold them really casually. People just nick them off.
I get paranoid about that, using the phone on the street. And
do you not have it?
I do, but every time somebody walks past me or...
Yeah.
All right, so about her saying that as a point of honor, or
I would say in general, most people don't care about the royal thing. It's just...
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice in principle, but I think most people are sick of it.
Yeah, because it costs a lot, and I think people have really moved on from...
And he's a no-mark. No one ever goes to visit Prince Andrew, do they?
No.
No.
So,
Apparently your boss is going to see the Duke of York.
no, that's the drink in the pub.
Oh, is it called the
Yeah.
Duke of York? Oh, right, okay.
You think they were
know
going to drink?
I thought you said you were going to see him. They were going to see him as in like he was coming somewhere to wave or something.
Oh yeah,
Something to
we're
wait.
going to have an average drinking weekend.
Just a casual day
It's
out.
not a party.
So the question where she asked, like to me, I mean, I obviously grew up in Nepal with the culture and everything, right? So about him saying honorable thing, I do think it plays the cultural sense because
I guess with them it does because, you know, royalty is very formal, isn't it? It's very structured
exactly.
and this, that and the other.
Yeah.
But
It's
in
kinda-
this scenario, when you're talking about these things, formality just goes out the window because you're not
That's
talking about
true.
formality, you're talking about victims who have been raped and abused and trafficked and,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
shut up.
Yeah.
With honour and formality. That's when you
true.
should completely submit and say, I'm appalled if he was innocent, which, let's be honest, he clearly isn't. But that's the point at which you say, I am appalled that I was associated with this absolute monster that has done all these horrendous things. All I can do is apologise.
Yeah, why not just
give
say
my
that?
condolences to the victims,
Yeah.
but in case instead he was like,
Yeah.
well, you know, my mother brought me up very well, and it was just terribly
Yeah.
rude not to be honourable to the honour that was honestly in the honouring. Fucking
Yeah.
moron.
Then again, like earlier, he said he's not that close with Epstein, and then yet he goes there in the sense of honor.
Yeah, exactly. You
Again,
don't do
like,
that. I mean,
how-
what if he's not friends with him? What would he be like with his best
Exactly.
friend?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Offer his head on a stake.
God, yes, wash his feet. Anyway.
Is that the Nepalese version of royalty? Is that how she worships you, Dale?
Have a soul bath, you too.
No, it does happen in Nepal where like you get married and then you like wash the husband's feet. And
Oh God!
stuff like
I'm
that.
so glad you came to England.
Yeah, and I mean,
It gets
like
worse now.
not every time. There's like,
Oh yeah.
To wash
You came
my
to
balls.
England.
Alright. I mean, I'm
Is
just,
that like a traditional thing then?
no,
part of
it
the
just.
ceremony?
I think there's like deep ends of like I don't know how to explain it. It's like
like
branches
deep
of
cultural sort of stuff.
yeah, exactly. Like you have different castes, and different castes have different rules, different
Sure.
cultures, stuff like that. So
Um,
you have to be a certain caste to do that. I don't know which one. I'm
I
just glad
see.
I didn't grow up there.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, even now, like even if I didn't grow up in Nepal, I still have to like every time I see someone who's my mom's friends or aunt or uncle, like we always have to join our hands and say namaste.
Oh yeah, you suggested it perfectly
Yeah.
out of respect.
Yeah, like just basically like don't look away and say namaste, like
Yeah, yeah.
show them some respect. And that's just a casual one. Normally, if there's someone related and someone older than you actually have to bow and touch the feet, and then you have to like bend, touch the feet, and then touch your head and then your chest.
I'd be like, look, you know what's going to happen
So-
here? Like, just pretend I did it and walk out.
Yeah, and then no matter like what, if they're older than you have to respect their opinion,
Yeah.
and you have to accept what they say, and then they're always right. It's probably not like that anymore because I haven't been there for so long, but in most case scenarios, like if my mom's still like kind
I
of
don't know. I would think in a culture like
Yeah.
Nepal, it would take quite a long time
Yeah.
for traditions like that to be not stamped out, but to be diluted. To
No, they still try to preserve this culture. Even
Yeah,
when they
yeah,
come
yeah.
out of the country to live somewhere else. They're still like preserving it and still like making sure like just like the royal family, they want.
I was just going to say, it does sound,
Yeah, they just want the whites inside, just like our culture. They want your own caste to be together.
So would they
your
frown
own-
on Dale? I mean, everyone frowns on Dale.
Oh yeah, like even now, if my dad knew that I'm unmarried and living with this white man, he's a dead man.
You're the devil, boy.
It'd be an honor to die by.
I'll be the one killing you.
And I'll be the one reporting it.
Yeah. All right, so like him saying honorable thing, I do think it was embedded in him. He probably thought it was just a nice, respectable thing to do.
The thing is as well, like him saying that, it just shows how far removed he is from reality.
Yeah.
Because he will have thought he was saying all the right stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of pressure in that scenario. However, he will have been trained to a certain extent. And he said at the start, it's taken 6 months to line up this interview. So it's not like they just caught him that morning.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said, it took 6 months because you guys were either busy or my iPhones.
He's busy working his 9 to 5.
Yeah. I've been very busy with my...
Oh, shot the pheasants.
And by shots, I mean run over, which isn't hard. The suicidal idiots that pheasants are. But so he said like that it's taken a huge amount of time to set up. So he really should have been better trained for this. But the fact that he does say stuff like, "Oh, it was honourable," I think because he is part of the royalty and that he's not with day-to-day people, he perhaps thinks that line is okay.
Yeah.
And that it is a valid
Yeah.
But my mum did tell me that you have to be really polite. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Dale's enjoying my posh man impression.
I think we should all.
Dale's swilling. I think you're a closet red wine drinker, even though it's just Coke Zero. He does.
All right.
I kind of like the idea of putting on a posh accent and blending in. You know, like just to try and go to one of those parties and just speak all.
And at the end, if you don't know what you are saying, just blame it on the wine. Like, oh, you know, red wine.
Just-
My head.
Right at the end, just come out with your accent. Like,
Motherfuckers! Go proper scouts on him.
well, thanks for inviting me.
Can you say get the fuck out in your accent?
What? Get the fuck out.
You don't have like that thing in accent.
No.
I was talking to someone the other day, and I can't remember who it was, and they said they could tell that you're a Scouser.
Someone else said that.
I don't hear it at all.
It comes out when he gets annoyed. Super.
I mean, he's always annoyed. He's always semi-annoyed. He's always walking around with a being semi-annoyed.
I do have different voices though. Like when I go to an interview, you know, I start.
Oh, everyone has their interview voice and their phone voice. Do you have a phone voice?
Yes.
Was that your phone voice?
Oh gosh, my sister was like that. She would be so mad at us and yelling at us, and the phone rings, and she goes like, "Everybody, shut up!" And then she picks up the phone. Hello, large resident. How may I help you?
My friend, like, a lot of her work is on the phone, so you'd think her phone voice would be pretty impeccable. But she gets on it and she's so fucking shrill and over the top. And I'm just like, just chill out. And she always says to me, like, my phone calls are so efficient. I get them done so quickly. It's like, yeah, because they can't fucking wait to get off the phone from you. They're just like, how are you on, mate?
I love the ones where the accents, they don't make an effort. They're just like, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cute.
There's something about a Scouse accent that's like, I don't know why I'm here. I'm not, my heart's not here. Give me some money, or I'm just going to rob you. Well, anyway, so.
All right, let's continue to finish this.
Dale's dying.
The lemon snippets made me drunk.
Yeah, everything makes you drunk.
And your Coke / red one.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola for the record.
Oh yeah,
So during the time while he stayed, witnesses say that they saw many young girls going in and out there. And there is a video footage of Epstein being accompanied by young girls, and there he was staying and catching up with the friends. Prince Andrew, I mean. Even if they were, this is what he says, even if they were, I was never a party to any of it. I never saw them. His house was more like a railway station. People coming in and out of the house all the time. What they were doing and why they were there, I had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
I mean, how would he know about railway station anyway? It's not like he goes in there. Does he? I don't know. Oh, he might.
I watched Harry Potter and it looked very busy on the platform 7 3/4, whatever they call it.
Yeah. Anyway, one of the guests...
that was a weak joke.
One of the guests there was John Brockman. He's a literary agent. He described seeing Prince Andrew there getting foot massage from a young Russian woman.
You know why that's true?
What?
He was famously caught sucking the toes of Sarah Ferguson, wasn't he? So I remember that.
It was
Prince Andrew.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's definitely true.
All right. So when Emily started saying this part about John Brockman, as she named him, he had like he just got really shocked that she named him, and then you could see that he was super surprised. His eyes were wide open, slowly leaning forward, and then he goes like, "Really?" Like, you know, he was just shocked because he knew that there was something to the truth coming out, right? And then he was nervous, I think, in my opinion, anyway. And then still shocked, he replied, "No, it didn't happen, and absolutely sure it didn't happen." Emily also asks, "So John Brockman's statement is false?" He replies, stuttering as he begins, "I don't know, Mr. Brockman, so I don't know what he's talking about."
He never flatly says yes, he's lying.
I know, yes, yeah.
Always like, I don't know. So it's like, if it ever comes out, he's covered himself because he never said flat out no.
Yeah, it's just like he treads around the answer, doesn't he? Like he just stutters a lot around the answer and then until he forms a sentence. But also the fact that he was super shocked to hear John Brockman's name and then in the next minute saying that he doesn't know who he is and then he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, why did he have his eyes peaked so high when the name came up?
Yeah, I think we gathered he's full of shit.
Yeah, like if we call Crescent, he peeks his ears because he knows the name, right? It's not gonna pretend anyway. He's just bored right now.
Oh, is he?
All right, so Emily then asks if the picture secretly captured of Epstein and him walking in the park while he stayed there was a plot of Jeffrey Epstein for the public rehabilitation.
Yeah.
So to that, he responds, if that photo was taken with that purpose in mind, then it doesn't equate to what actually happened. So what is he referring to when he said what actually happened? The suicide or... And if he...
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we can really make sense of all the bullshit spilling from this man's mouth.
Either the suicide or the lie that he's making up in his mind.
I think the lie rather than...
Yeah, because he's like saying then it doesn't make sense if that was the purpose. So he goes on to say that he still does not regret being friends with Jeffrey Epstein.
I mean, he just fumbled time and time again. Regardless of what you think, I think he's a pretty bloody shady character. You're on TV.
Yeah.
Denounce the man. Denounce the devil for crying out loud.
True,
Say, I had nothing to do with this man, or we were friends, and I completely bollocksed up by being associated with him. Again,
but that's not royal, though, is it? They don't.
Oh yeah, no, they don't admit fault.
No, no one's apologised for killing Princess Diana.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Oh well. I mean, this one was a convicted sexual.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was out of respect as a friendship for Jeffrey Epstein because he never speaks badly about Jeffrey. You know, it almost sounds like he's defending him. Yeah. But then again, he says he's not that good of a friend with Jeffrey Epstein, so why bother even defending him, right? So he said, knowing Epstein had some seriously beneficial outcomes at a time when he had left the career in Navy and began one as a trade and industry special representative. I thought that was so, sorry, just to interrupt. I thought that was so telling that some seriously beneficial outcomes. You know, just that as a statement, it's like you're saying that about a convicted paedophile. Yeah, he's still like in association with him. You are saying there's serious benefits to knowing him. Like, what is wrong with you? And he's also injecting that he was in the Navy there, so in the whole sentence. And he said the people that I met at opportunities that I was given to learn, either by him or because of him, were actually very useful.
So he was a close friend.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, because I don't know, would you have time to speak or give advice about all these things if you weren't close friends? You know, unless you were a client. Mm-hmm. So Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on charges of sex trafficking and abusing dozens of underage girls in July 2019. One of Epstein's accusers, Virginia Roberts, has made allegations against Prince Andrew. She says she met Prince Andrew in 2001. Excuse me. Dined and danced with him in the Tramp nightclub.
I love that name, Tramp nightclub.
Doesn't it just sound vile? It's probably not because they're all there, so it'll be serious money to get in. But Tramp is just like, is Rosie on the doors? Right, fucking hell, we're not coming in then.
No, the women who sees the name and go like, oh, let's go, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's like my homecoming.
It's calling to me. Yeah. So then she went on to have sex with him in a house in Belgravia belonging to Ghislaine Maxwell.
This whole part of the interview was just ridiculous. Yeah. The whole... Are you going to get onto that, the sweating thing?
Yeah, it will go.
I'm sweating for the record.
Yeah, I am. I'm a bit damp under the old armpits. I just winked it.
How many armpits?
So the picture...
Not going to stay single for long.
Yeah, Prince Andrew responds that he has no recollection of ever meeting this lady. I'm convinced that I was never in trance with her. There are a number of things that are wrong with the story. And then he stammers along. I don't know where the bar is. I don't think I've even brought a drink in Tramps.
Let me just, that's going... I haven't bought one. Yeah, that's because you're royalty, so you get drinks brought to you, so you don't need to know where the bar is because you'll sit in the VIP and they'll bring it to you. Stuff like that is like, you're just a moron.
Yeah. And that couldn't have happened because the date that was suggested, I was at home with the children. And yes, that's
the day that we went to Pizza Express in Woking, and I do remember it because Woking's a bit of a shithole, really, isn't it?
Yeah, something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
So
should have asked him what pizza he had. Since you remember
the pizza with the pepperoni and the pineapple. If it's not pineapple, I think he would have been hated even more.
Yeah, even though I do like having pineapple pizza. Although I've never had pepperoni and pineapple, hence why I just looked at you like you grown up poo out.
No, it just was easier to stutter with
Beatrice.
Oh yeah, pepperoni.
Beatrice with her teeth digging into her pizza.
Leave the daughter out of it.
Doesn't even lift the pizza up and just like sets her teeth on it.
That's why it was memorable to him.
Oh, it was the first time I'd ever seen my child eat. I didn't sleep for a week. She's fucking disgusting.
So he suggests that he was home at night, and Emily asks, was it a memorable night? He stutters and stretches his ankle as he prepares to answer the question. As calm as he makes out to be, but with his nervous stutter, he replies,
On that particular day, we now understand that it was the 10th of March. I was at home and I was with the children. I took Petrus to the Pizza Express in Woking for a party, I suppose at 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And because the Duchess was away...
Well, he starts becoming more comfortable at this point because...
I start to unzip.
I was just going to say something like that. Get out my head, Dale.
No, I mean, like, how he was, like, just trying to be calm, but you could see he was... I mean, this is just my...
Well, I had a glass of wine with my pizza at the time.
This is my observation. When he started this, like, I mean, this is obviously a lie. So this line sounds like it's something he's practiced before. Because
Oh, really?
he's, like, just tense, and to me, it just looks like he's trying to remember what he's going to say.
Yeah, rather than recalling
The fact it was 10 years ago and he remembers the time, the place.
Yeah.
You know, that's a little bit scripted.
And also the fact when...
What did you do last Tuesday?
I don't know.
Well, I went for an average shooting.
Well, my point was going to be that you can't just recall days. It's just crap. I can't remember what I did today. What?
I shot a market trader.
Stop it, Zale. No.
His name was Kevin. Everyone rejoiced for some reason.
Right, so when he goes on to talk about Duchess, that's when he starts becoming more comfortable as he starts using his hand freely. You know, because then there's where he's starting to talk about the memory or something. That's a memory to him, even though it's not on the same date.
I want to read his quote to him now.
Yes, okay. Can you continue reading what he says?
I feel like you stomped on my accent party.
We have a simple rule that when one's away and the other one's there. I was on terminal leave at the time from the Royal Navy, therefore I was home.
To be fair, no, you are quite good because you sound semi-pissed and they all sound semi-pissed, don't they?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's got too many quotes. I can't keep up.
This is literally the interview of him. It's either him talking or the interviewer. So.
I mean to do it.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't stutter so much. So, when asked why would you remember that so specifically going to Pizza Express and being at home, he replied,
Pizza
Wait,
Express.
can you stammer a lot, like stutter? Just do it in an actual, like, Pizza Express.
Pizza Express in Woking.
No, never mind that. We'll never get there.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you? Does anybody know CPR?
I feel like going to Pizza Express is a very unusual thing for me to do.
Oh, no, you can't just go from one to the other. I'll do it. Pizza Express in Woking is a very unusual thing for me to do. I've only been to Woking, or Woking, as most people call it.
I've only been to work a couple of times. That's like apt mistake.
Absolutely. Well, I've only been to Woking a couple of times, and I remember it really distinctively. As soon as someone reminds me, I'm like, "Hola!" So I have a recollection of meeting or being in the company of...
He was trying to say Virginia, but I think Emily starts asking another question.
Okay.
And she states that Virginia remembers him profusely.
Oh, yeah, that was so funny when she's talking about, you're in tramps and you're sweating like a dirty pedophile.
How can you say that photo's not real? It's
I know, but the crap that he goes into.
pictures in the background.
We've not gone to...
So, yeah, and then he goes, well, actually, that's when he goes, I have to interject because I'm going to be pedantic about the fact that I'm a dirty sweater because I have a particular medical condition. What's happening?
Peculiar. But particular makes sense too. So, why are you laughing?
Did my accent go really?
The way he laughs, God, I've never seen him laugh like that.
So I have a peculiar medical condition, which is that I don't sweat. Or I didn't sweat at the time because I had suffered what I would describe it as an overdose of adrenaline in the Falklands War. What a big bollocks of bollocksness that is. When I heard that, I actually fell about laughing because when he was going to interject, I was going to say he's going to point out like he's not able to sweat, and then when he actually came out with it, I was like, for God's sake, that's not evidence. And also, stop telling people that you can't sweat. What are you, a dog? Do you have to just go around panting and hope that you're going to cool down?
I mean, it's like he doesn't even deny it. It's just the fact he doesn't sweat, so that's why it's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's not evidence.
No.
I mean, I do have a penis, and it was flapping about everywhere, but I can't sweat, and therefore it wasn't me because I'm too hypodermic.
So apparently there is that overdose of adrenaline.
And then he finishes. It's only in because he did the whole with a lot of self-improvement. Okay, he's like 100 now. With a lot of self-improvement and hard work, it's only in the recent past that I've been able to sweat again. Well done, Prince Andrew. Well done.
So I think it's just so convenient that if people pulled out on you not sweating, now he's improved and he's sweating.
Like you see him in clubs, he's not sweating, he's safe. You can go near him.
So apparently there is a condition like that. If it can be life.
Has he actually been diagnosed?
I don't know that. He could have falsified it. I mean, he's a prince after all. But the fact that I just want to say it is a real condition where it can be life-threatening.
This is a very serious life condition, not being sweaty.
Yeah.
If you suffer from this, please call Frank. It's Talk to Frank.
Who's Frank?
Do you not remember Talk to Frank? I know she wouldn't have come across it. It was like a drugs thing.
If you got issues.
And also you can look up what drugs do.
Yeah.
Basically it was encyclopedic knowledge for children.
I want to get massively wasted on Friday for 60p.
Right, go to the cleaning aisle in your supermarket.
All right, so Virginia Roberts provided a photo, and he said he's seen the photo before, and this is the photo.
Well, that's not my hand.
So Prince Andrew states that he can't explain the photo. He can't remember that photo ever being taken.
Sorry, I just ignored what Dale said, but that's what got me in the thing. Like, I mean, it's clearly my head, but whose hand is it?
Yeah.
My hand was on her ass.
It's not on her waist.
Again, though, it was like picking up on something. It was like, yeah, but your head's there. And then at one point he said, well, at this point it's a photo of a photo of a photo.
Yes.
No, it's not. It's the photo online.
It's funny he can't remember a photo, but he can remember Peter Express on the day he was supposedly...
Yeah, and then also later on he goes, I don't think I ever saw Epstein with a camera.
he says that.
Well, like he's going to take his own photo.
Well, no, because Epstein was supposed to have taken... Was it this photo he was meant to have taken?
Yes.
Yeah, and then he was like, I've never seen him with a camera. That's not the point. We're talking about the picture, not the fact that your friend clearly has held a camera at some point in his life. Sorry, your friend is not a friend.
So apparently the photo was taken from Virginia's phone. Like, it was the first time she ever met a prince, and she was excited, so she asked Epstein to take a picture, which he obliged and did it, and that's what
that makes total sense. None of that sounds unreasonable.
Yeah, so... And then Emily, the interviewer, suggests that your friend suggests that photo is fake. And instead of firmly denying, is saying... Like he says...
From the investigations we've done, you can't prove whether the photograph is fake or not, because it's a photograph of a photograph of a photograph. But it's definitely a photograph.
Of a photograph.
Yeah.
And then keep reading.
That's me. But whether it's my hand or that's the position, I have no recollection of that photo ever being taken.
It's such a stupid statement. Whether that's my hand. Sorry, your hand's not the focus. It's your head and genitals that we're focusing on right now. And then he goes, oh, that's the position. What are you even on about? He's literally just going, words, mouth, come out.
And this whole thing he says is at a suggestion that Emily made, not something that Emily stated, which is that your friend suggests that the photo is fake, right? Instead of saying, yes, it's definitely fake because I wasn't there. He says this whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he knows it's real, so he's covering himself.
Yeah, like he's trying to
really badly.
Yeah, go around it. Anyway, and then why is he trying to give reasons of it being photographed and his hands not being... Anyway, all right, so where are we? That's definitely...
Okay, I don't remember ever going upstairs in Epstein's house because the photograph is taken upstairs in the house. That is me in the picture, but I can't be convinced that is my hand on her left side. That's so retarded.
I know, it's so stupid.
That is me in the photo, but I can't be convinced that's my hand. Well, whose is it? A fucking dwarf. There's like a dwarf eating her ass with a hand.
He's trying to suggest, like, he's trying to put this idea into everyone's head that this photo is fake, but he won't say it himself.
But why? So they've attached his hand, even if his hand was higher up, he's still with her.
No, like the point he's making is like he's trying to say that his photo has been cut from somewhere else and then pasted there.
I don't think he's saying that. He's
trying to suggest that. What do you really think he's trying to suggest, that there's a midget behind him to put the hand on the
I
waist?
think Joe's right. I thought that's what he was trying to get at. That someone's like copy pasted him.
Yeah, he's trying to, like, if it ever came out and it was proven that the photo is real, he is in the safe ground because he didn't directly say that the photo was fake. Yeah. So I think he's trying to tread around the legality here.
Oh, that's definitely me, but I don't think that's a picture of me in London, because when I go out in London, I wear a suit and tie.
Oh, that as well.
But he is wearing...
No, suit and a tie. He doesn't have a suit.
But he hasn't got his jacket on, and he could have took his tie off.
Yeah, and if you're in a...
I mean, if he can't sweat, he's going to get really hot, so he needs to take all the layers off.
Yes.
He's just had sex, so he's probably just put his clothes back on.
He said he had sex after this picture.
Oh, because... Well, he said he had sex with her.
Because it goes on to say later that she took a picture, they danced, they dined, and then they went to...
No, but he never admitted having sex.
He didn't. I mean, she did. So this picture was before. All right. Emily reconfirms and asks, just to clarify, so you think this photo has been faked?
We've done that. What the hell?
No, she's reconfirming again. So he doesn't give a straightforward answer, but instead replies...
Nobody can prove whether or not that photograph has been doctored. My dear.
Yeah.
Patronising.
Although, like,
my
dear.
I was go on.
Yeah,
like, he didn't say my dear. I added that.
If the photograph had been photoshopped and put it in that way, it's like quite amazing now that you can actually create a photograph and even go to...
But they can check that sort of stuff, surely.
Yeah, I mean, this photo is not... I don't know. He says his investigators had...
My investigators... Beatrice has just sat looking at it quite often.
She nibbled away at the corners.
She's made a nest out of her scrap. God.
Beatrice ate her. I'm just enjoying marking him.
I am, because he's a fucking tool. Right.
So I'm just saying, wait, if the photograph was fake, it's just amazing how you can actually use the, like, Photoshop skills.
You can, because there are some seriously talented people, but it's not.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying it just can make a huge impact on, like, people like the Prince, Your Royal Highness and stuff. So,
as a member of a royal family, if I have a photograph taken, and I take very few photographs, I'm not the one to hug, and public displays of affection are not something that I do.
Yes, that's what he says.
But that's not affection, he's just in a photograph.
No, he's just a pervert putting his hand around a woman, or girl, sorry.
Yeah. All right. Why would people not believe that you were there? His reply referred back to him never going upstairs, and the photo was taken upstairs.
Again, he's like focusing on the point that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, that was upstairs. I've only been in the kitchen when we weren't having parties. Yeah. We were just looking at our dead pheasants from the shot.
All right, so you've lost me there. Okay, the date she accused him of. Prince Andrew says that it shows that he was in New York, but the witness Johanna Soberg says that he was in Epstein's house that day. To that he replies he may have visited, but he wasn't staying. So see, like, at first he was like so convincingly says that, you know, he wasn't with Epstein, and suddenly when there's a witness, he, like, you know, stammers along that, oh yeah, maybe I was there, but I wasn't staying with him, or maybe I might have visited. And again, he's not a very...
Okay, well, maybe I was staying, but it wasn't as a friend. Okay, maybe it was as a friend, but we weren't lovers. Okay, so maybe we were lovers, but we were just having a threesome. Okay, so it was a gangbang.
Yeah, just he's just contradicting himself too much.
He's a dick.
In a legal deposition in 2015, Virginia Roberts said she had sex with Prince Andrew 3 times. First time in Ghislaine Maxwell's house in Belgravia, a second time at Epstein's house in Manhattan, and the third time was an orgy on Epstein's private island and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Yeah. To that, he made a surprised face, but he was probably, like, excited to hear it all back again.
The memory.
Sorry, can we just have a minute, darling?
Can you repeat the whole thing?
Yeah. An orgy, you say? And what happens at an orgy? Do you mind if I take my shirt off? I can't sweat.
So in the end, he denies all the allegations that Virginia Roberts has made. Epstein's housekeeper in Florida court legal deposition said that Prince Andrew visited Palm Beach around 4 times a year.
Oh yeah, that's 4 times a year.
There you go. And got a legal massage.
Illegal.
Yeah, legal as opposed to, yeah. So, and about the legal massages, he was questioned if, like, you know, those girls giving him massage were the girls that were exploited by Epstein, but he doesn't believe those girls were exploited. And also the fact that he doesn't know Epstein that well. I don't know what that comment was about.
And my writing is crap. Moving on.
So he's shocked at that 4 times a year part,
Yeah.
right? He's either like pretend to be shocked because he knows that was coming, or he's genuinely shocked because he goes on to say that he's not 4 times a year, but maybe 4 times in the entire period he's known Epstein, that he's seen him.
Yeah.
So Ghislaine Maxwell.
It seems like feigned shock.
Yeah.
Because it was really like,
It was at least 8.
I get 4 times a year, darling.
Doff call.
Your fucking research.
So he was asked about where Ghislaine Maxwell is, because I think she went into low profile or hiding after like this whole thing started. Anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell will have questions to answer for herself, he says. And when asked where she is, Prince Andrew says he doesn't know. The last time he saw her was this year in the summer when she was here in the UK doing some rally, which was before Epstein was arrested.
Why has she got off of everything? Like, she's like totally...
She's gone into hiding though, hasn't she?
She was, but you know what? I was doing the research, like finishing up the research, and then just this morning there's a news about her that she's come out. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And then she's gave her side of the...
You know what's interesting too? Her father randomly died on a boat.
Oh, did he? I didn't.
Oh, really? When was that?
Which sent her bankrupt. And that's how she ended up with Epstein. So he was obviously killed off as well. So,
So today morning...
Why?
I need to look into
It was
it.
just like, alright, you've got money, you're obviously killed.
But it's convenient he dies. I don't know if he went overboard on his boat. So it's just too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
But that happened before she got with Epstein.
Yeah, I think he was going bankrupt, so she was bankrupt as well when her father died.
Right.
So that's how she ended up with this rich pal.
Yeah. So just today morning, the news was released about Ghislaine Maxwell. The Daily Mail headline said, Ghislaine Maxwell revealed how she hired women to massage pedophile Epstein at his home at least once a day.
Whoa.
And admits she knew Prince Andrew's sex accuser Virginia Roberts was only 17. When she was only 17.
Wait, is that from today?
In newly released court papers. Yes, this was this morning.
Well, then he's guilty as sin.
Yeah, but let's go and see like what she says about like, is Prince Andrew lying or not? We'll know.
Well, she said admit she knew Prince Andrew had sex with her, so... And that was Epstein's girlfriend.
Prince Andrew's sex accuser. I mean, like, Daily Mail's headlines always go by so much, grammar mistakes and misleading titles.
I also joke can't read English.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, like, when it's, like, super long sentences without commas and all.
Yeah.
Like, what am I reading?
Daily Mail is really bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're tarnishing Daily Mail while we're getting the information on that.
Yeah. You say shit, but can I quote you?
All right, so Ghislaine Maxwell has revealed for the first time how she recruited women to massage billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein at his home at least once a day. In newly released court papers, the socialite who introduced Epstein to Prince Andrew told how she managed Epstein's 6 houses around the world and hired lots of people, but denied procuring young girls for him to have sex with him.
Okay, Miss Maxwell said she knew Andrew's sex accuser, Miss Roberts, was 17 when she started massaging Epstein, but said her account of abuse she claimed she suffered at the hands of the royal and his paedophile friend was a lie.
So she's like, still defending Prince Andrew. I guess like when she was in the hiding and when Prince Andrew said that he doesn't know where she is, they must have been like talking about...
Wait, but she's not going to admit it, because if she admits it, then she's basically, what do they call it when you're in sync? Like,
colluding.
Yeah, colluding. So obviously it's in her benefit to say.
Yeah.
In her video statement to the New York court in a libel action brought by Mrs. Roberts, Miss Maxwell outlined her role for the disgraced businessman. My job included hiring many people. There were 6 homes. I hired assistants, architects, decorators, cooks, cleaners, gardeners, pool people, pilots. I hired all sorts of people. A very small part of my job was to find adult professional massage therapists for Jeffrey. From time to time, I would visit professional spas. I would receive a massage, and if it was good, I would ask them if they did home visits. What a wonderful job to be paid to do that. In her evidence, Miss Maxwell admitted knowing Miss Roberts was just 17 years old when she began giving massages to Epstein at his mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. Asked how often the teenager would massage Epstein, she said, "It's important to understand that I wasn't with Jeffrey all the time. In fact, I was only in the house less than half the time. So I cannot testify to when I wasn't there how often she came. What I can say is that I barely would remember her if not for all this rubbish. I probably wouldn't remember her at all, except that she came from time to time, but I don't recollect her coming as often as she portrayed herself."
Well, right there, like she's saying she's not at the house that often to know how often she came, and then she's now again saying that I don't remember. I probably wouldn't remember her at all.
Well, she's full of shit. So.
Like,
Yeah, so you hire all the staff, so you're pretty hands-on.
Yeah. Yeah, so you should know the ins and outs of everything. Yeah, and also wouldn't you, like, didn't they, how long did the punch card came in, like, wouldn't you, if she was hired to work there?
I don't think they had one of those.
Factory. Factory in the 90s in the Midwest America.
Please stamp in before you suck me off.
No, I mean, like, people do that, right? Write their times, what they came in and out, and if she is the one who's managing
Not in a mansion, is it?
Yeah, no, I think it's like you just...
Really? Even in a mansion, wouldn't you have that? Someone managing it all?
No.
No, I think you'd have someone managing, but I don't think there's a clocking in system.
Okay, all right. Okay. I mean, if it's like a big house.
Well, we look really stupid now, like all these mansion owners, like, no, she's right. Nothing but the stamp system for us.
No, I mean, they can easily say, oh, I've worked overtime, I need to get paid this much.
No, that's true, but there's always like, not butlers, but there's sort of like head of house and stuff like that to look after things, like management's in place.
No, because she's saying she's managing like 6 homes where she hired all these cleaners, gardeners, everyone. So you would need to keep track of who came, who went, who's doing part-time, who's doing full-time. So.
We have laptops nowadays.
Yeah.
And cameras, which, God, it just is so much easier if they just punch their card in and punch their card out again.
Would you please punch me?
My fist is like, yeah.
Whoa, you keep your fist to yourself. I want to go to a royal dinner.
Well, actually, they'd be like, ew, he's a bit weird looking. He's clearly one of us.
Let's go visit Buckingham Place. Do they allow visitors in? What is it called?
They're called Buckingham.
What is it called then?
Buckingham Palace. Buckingham Place.
Where my mother stays.
Yeah, so is it open to visitors to go inside?
Not to stroll in, no.
Knock on the door.
I'm gonna fucking put the fucking kettle on, you old cat.
Where's Andrew, you cat?
Oh, where him?
Oh my God.
All right, so getting back to it, Miss Maxwell gave evidence at the defamation hearing with Miss Roberts in 2017. Miss Roberts was suing her over her claims that she was forced to have sex with Epstein and the Duke of York.
Oh my God, what a disgusting sandwich.
I prefer my chicken and bacon sandwich.
Sorry about that, Catherine.
That's all right. Miss Maxwell reached agreement with the teenager in an out-of-court settlement and applied to have the interview.
See, that's what I'm saying. This thing you mentioned, what was it? Where they silenced them?
Non-disclosure.
So many are now coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And they get away with it because obviously.
But the thing is, they're used everywhere. So they're used in companies, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just a way to keep, but it's a way to enable men, and not just men, but people within power to continue.
Yeah,
because they go, have some cash, sign that, and you're off. And people feel like, okay, I either sign it and get something out of it.
Where do I sign?
Yeah.
So does NDA mean like when it is brought to court that it can't be used?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's pretty. Yeah, I think it's a pretty.
Okay, so then there's probably so many things that
Yeah, there is.
disclosed. Yeah.
Like
After-
the Princess Diana.
Keep going back to
I
that.
know, he's obsessed.
Yeah. He was probably a big fan of Princess Diana.
Oh, yes. Splendorous.
Slender wrists.
Splendorous. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. He's just forming words.
I thought initially he said slender wrists, and then splendid wrists.
I think it just sounds posh, so he's
Generous. And he is actually pissed on Coke Zero.
all right. So, but after Epstein's arrest on sex trafficking charges in July, an appeal court ruled the evidence could be resealed.
Could be released. What are you on about sealed?
Yeah, I was like, what? Released. I'm getting dyslexic. Extracts from her statement were unsealed on August 9, the day before the billionaire was found dead in his cell from apparent suicide.
What's apartment suicide? What's apartment suicide? How does it differ from house suicide?
I don't know. It's not in a cell.
So he dies the day before it's released. Fucking...
No, it got released and then he died.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
after.
That's a bit of a...
Yeah, so it's like, it is a coincidence. Like, conveniently, he died right after a day that everything was released. So he was obviously killed because...
Yeah, but this is how this sort of thing works. It's just...
Yeah, in the prison cell.
Too many people with power.
2 guards who were supposed to watch. And conveniently, they were asleep or the cameras weren't working. Yeah. So Jeffrey, the next page, these are the Jeffrey Epstein's weird art collection.
I love them. I think they're awesome.
Yeah.
That Bill Clinton one is real. He's definitely a cross-dresser.
Really?
No.
Yeah, definitely into the kinks.
What do you mean? You think this is an actual painting of Bill Clinton?
I'm not saying he's that.
Then why are you saying he's a cross-dresser? Has he done it? Because you looked at this picture. So let me describe the picture for the listeners. So this is an extremely sexual portrait of Bill Clinton in a blue dress and a red heel, sitting sideways on a chair with legs crossed, showing off his shoulder and under thigh while pointing at
He's
you.
got hairy legs for the record.
Not here.
Yeah, look at those hairs. The white hairs.
White hairs. Well, I think it's just a color. But I will post this picture on the Facebook album if anybody is interested and wants to look at the pictures. I mean, you can also find it on Google.
Why would he get that painted? Especially since Bill Clinton was a friend of his.
You what, sorry?
He's just having a laugh.
Why would he get that painted to Bill Clinton? Because Bill Clinton was a friend.
Yeah, I think it's just a jokey thing, yeah.
Yeah,
and like you say, he's probably dressed up like that to one of his parties.
Yeah.
The next one is...
This picture was, like, there's another picture, the original man who wore the dress and sat on the chair. You can find it in Google as well.
I am Googling no man.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it's for the listeners. I will post it, the original man on the chair and this Bill Clinton's face posted on to make it look like it's him. So the next art collection, I mean, I'm pretty sure he had a lot of other weird art collections, but these are like the most gripping. The other one is George Bush with 2 airplanes, paper airplanes, and 2 collapsed Jengas, which is referred to 9/11.
Yeah, when was that painted?
It was done in 2012. So
Yeah.
remember when we had that discussion about him predicting it? 9/11 had already happened.
Yeah, wasn't it like 2001 or something?
Yeah, like I said, yeah.
He predicted it 11 years after it happened.
No, this is just, I mean, why would anyone joke about that? People are still sensitive about this, right? And
that makes us look like we've got taste and tact.
yeah, like...
Compared to...
But he looks so innocent, like a child playing
he does look like a
planes.
moron all the time, though. You haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's sitting in the Oval Office with his paper airplane and Jenga. So apparently this is like some sort of political figure. The man who painted this is Ryan Keeled. Ryan not Keeled is Cleed or Clade.
Wow.
K-L-E-I-D. How do you Cleed?
What is it?
K-L-E-I-D.
Yeah, please.
Okay. Is Ryan...
She says not knowing at all. Yes, definitely sausage.
Let's call him Bob.
Yeah. If in doubt, call him Bob.
Yeah. So Ryan Cleed, that lightly... Let me read what it means.
So he's guilty.
It's companion, a painting of George W. Bush called War Games, features the former president sitting on the floor of a White House playing with paper airplanes and 2 fallen Jenga towers, referencing his manipulation of the attacks 9/11 to justify war in Iraq. Mm-hmm. The defining scandal of Bush's White House tenure. As for parsing Bill, the blue dress seems a likely reference to the blue dress that served as evidence in the former president's affair with Monica Lewinsky. Oh,
that's the one he had.
The scandal that marked Clifton's time in the office. Okay, so those are the arts.
Okay.
And this is the political figure. So that's it. Thanks, guys, for doing.
Wait, is he guilty?
Oh, he's definitely guilty. Like all the
Nice.
Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
Even though he's like not been proven. I mean, he's never gonna be, in the legal sense, but we all know that.
Why is someone mowing the lawn?
No, okay, can I say, we are in New York and there's like a RAF base here, and
That's
they're
not
always
an RAF.
they're always the previous podcast had the airplanes going, and then I couldn't mute the sound of that.
I can hear it.
Oh really? There's like it sounds like a whole building moving or something.
I don't mean to rush you, but I gotta.
That's one. I just think it's a really interesting fact that we live so close to the RAF base where
Yeah, no, it's cool.
really cool like airplanes with, I don't know what it's called. Not helicopters with
Oh yeah, the double
the choppers or
choppers.
exactly. So have you seen it? Like it gets so close when I go outside and when they're testing it.
You're too easily pleased, Joe.
I've never seen anything of the air. I saw 3 things flying the other night, and I was like looking up in the air, and I walked into a wall.
Yeah.
How are you doing this?
Sometimes where you see all those all those like jets going in a triangle shape.
That's a spaceship.
No, I mean jets like.
Oh, they fly in a V formation.
Yes. So they're haven't you seen it in New York?
No,
Flying
no,
over.
no.
Oh my god! Like if you hear a noise like that, just go out and quickly look because you'll miss it. Unless it's someone just cutting the hedges outside.
I just love that. If you hear a noise, just stop. I just get out of my car. Wait.
I meant if you're at home because you're in New York now.
I've got a turtle's hat. I'll see you next time.
All right, sums it up for today. Thanks to the listeners before we go.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. We will.
Thank you so